Hello and welcome to Living Right with Chris. My name is Chris Isweke, and I'm super excited to welcome you to another episode in our weekly series. Last week, we looked at how family pain can shape the life of an individual, and we learned that though your past may explain your current struggles, but it doesn't have to determine your future, that it can actually end now. So this week, we're looking at healing without waiting for anyone else to change. That is, we're looking at the possibility of actually instituting the healing process without relying on anyone else, right, to cause that healing to happen for you. The fact is, healing can actually begin even before your family begin to change, even before your family dynamics change, even before any member of the family change, that you can start the healing process. I've come to realize that many people postpone their healing process because they're probably waiting for an apology, they're waiting for parents to change, okay, they're waiting for family members to understand them and all of that. But the fact is, healing begins when you decide not to remain trapped by your pain. So it means that healing begins with you. It is personal. And there are practical steps that we can take to initiate the healing process. And this practical step is the focus for our discourse this week. So some of the practical steps that we can take include one, acknowledge your emotions. Until you know your emotions and acknowledge them that they exist, then you cannot really start the healing process, right? Because healing starts from knowing how you feel, naming your emotions, know when you're angry and naming that you're angry, know when you're frustrated and say, "Oh, this is frustration," and all of that. That is the beginning of your healing process. So you must know your emotions and acknowledge them. Not only knowing them, you must acknowledge them that they exist. Also, you must find safe people to talk to. Having acknowledged that you feel this way, then the next step is to find, safe people to talk to. Maybe a mentor, someone who understands, someone who has gone ahead, someone who is knowledgeable about issues, that relates to emotions, relationships, and all of that, right? Find someone safe to talk to. The fact is, when you are able to talk about these things, two things happen. One, you relieve yourself of the hurt, and secondly, you get advice on what to do. Because until you release that hurt, you cannot actually see the step that you can take to walk out of that pain that you feel. So, as you're unburdening yourself of that hurt, you are creating space for focus on the things that you can do to help you live above the pain and the dysfunction within the family. Also, we must learn healthy emotional expression. Having acknowledged your emotions and talk about it to someone, you must learn how to express your emotions. Even when you're angry, there's a way to express your anger to someone, to say, okay, this and this and this that happened, I don't feel happy about it. They're not all they're yelling you know like someone that is you know what I mean. We must learn healthy emotional expression. We must learn how to express our emotions in a way that is both respectful, honoring, does not break relationship, and you know convey the message that in a way that is understandable to the person we're expressing their emotions to, right? So while having acknowledge our emotions, we do not bury them, because when you bury emotions, they will come back to life, and when they come, you cannot actually control them. So it's better that having acknowledge your emotion, you express them in a way that is honorable and does not break friendship. So also, you must stop blaming yourself for everything. For things that have happened in your life, whether you contributed to it, of course, you must have contributed. You should stop the blaming of self. The fact is, the more you continue to blame yourself, the less you are able to come out of that situation. So having told yourself, oh, I didn't do this right, what can I do? That should be the next line of action. What can I do to right the wrong? Instead of languishing in blame or self-blame or what have you, think of a solution rather than blaming. So self-blame does not help. It keeps you in a spot. You keep going in the circle of self-blame instead of looking on how you can get out of that situation. Also, we must seek healthy friendship and mentorships. Without healthy friendship, there are no and mentorship, of course, there are no people around that you can actually trust to talk about your emotions. So healthy friendship, people who understand, who share the same value with you, and having a mentor. Mentorship is something you cannot run away if you want to live an effective life. As a young person, as a teenager, as a young adult, we must have people who have gone ahead of us and have made all of the mistakes that they can make in the course of their life journey, and help us to go through life without making such mistakes again, because we are able to learn from their mistakes. So mentorship is a non-negotiable for everyone who wants to live an effective life. So that mentor is someone that you can talk to. So it's something that you must consciously begin to build. Look for people who have gone ahead of you, who are trustworthy, who share in your faith, who share in your values, that you can talk to, right? Because when you're burning yourself, your emotions, your feeling to a mentor, he knows, because he has seen life more than you, and have experiences more than you. He or she will know how to guide you through the process, and then you will not make mistake. Even in your downtime, you are still strong. Because most times people make the worst decision and mistakes of their life at that moment when they are emotional, when they are down emotionally. So such periods are times where you can talk to a mentor and it can help you get back on your feet. And lastly, you must seek professional support when needed. So after having done all of this, and you're still having the trauma, right, and it's still strong on you, then you must seek professional help. There are people who are they are counselors trained, that can help you, that can talk you through all of the challenges of your childhood and all of the pains of your family, and then you are good to go. But I know that if you can do from 1 to 5, 90% of people would have been able to live above the family pains and all of the trauma that came along with their childhood, right? But if it persists that situations didn't change, haven't done 1 to 5 I've mentioned, then seek professional support. The truth is, healing is not pretending the pain never happened. It happened. Perhaps the pain is still there. But healing is refusing to let the pain control your future. So while acknowledging the fact that the pain is there, we must refuse to allow that pain control who we are becoming. And I want us to learn this life lesson, that healing is taking back control of your life, one healthy choice at a time. Because it is in the choices that we make that cause healing to happen. So I want you to choose one trusted person this week and have an honest conversation about something you've been carrying in your mind. Maybe a hurt, maybe anger and resentment against a family member. Speak to someone about it, and then he will guide you on how you can break through that pain and become better again. The truth is, when you carry hurt or pain against someone, you are the one that feels the brunt of it, even the most, because even the person you carry might not even know what is happening within you, and the person lives a free life, and you are carrying the burden and you're not free. So I want you to speak up and heal from that pain in your heart. I thank you again for being here this week. I know that it has been a blessing for you being here. I want you to invite your family and friends. And if you are here, you have not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Share also this link with your family and friends. Let them come and learn here. Because the fact is, living right is the only way worth living. I want to thank you once again for being here. Until next week, it is bye from me.